Welcome everybody, hype it up everybody. This is Health Skill Podcast. Today we speak about mantras and why you maybe should start singing mantras. Let's see about that. Together with Glenda Laila, who cultivates a deep love to music. She's a yoga practitioner and she loves to connect to her heart. Welcome in, Glenda. How are you doing?
A little nervous, but mostly very excited.
Super.
Thank you for the great introduction.
Yeah, thank you for being honest about your nervousness. That's very welcome. We're glad to kind of like honor that as well. And start slow, of course, with a little centering practice. And yeah, we already discussed before, you wanted to do something small there. So would you like to sing Om there?
Yeah. I don't know how many of the people listening know Om. So Om is the very basic mantra, first mantra ever.
Okay.
Yeah, the mantras of the mantras.
Okay, let's discuss about that after. So everybody, welcome in again, and especially all the listeners that are not watching right now us, come to a great sit. We're also coming to a great sit, and root your feet down and get along from your hips to your head, and just start to breathe in deep and listen to what Glenda has to offer to us. Everybody slowly coming back to your body, connecting to all the other bodies that are around there listening right now. We're connecting to each other, not just to our own body, but to each other as well. And then slowly coming back out of it. Opening your eyes. Feeling ready to enjoy this podcast. So, dear Glenda, thank you so much. Can you tell us of your journey into mantra to start a little bit off with this podcast today?
So I think my journey into mantras began with my journey into yoga. I discovered yoga through aerial yoga. Okay, I have to go a little bit back. So I just saw aerial yoga on the internet and I was like, what is this? And wanted to try something new. And then after practicing half a year aerial yoga, I wanted to know, where does this come from? Really, where's the root? So I started to practice hatha yoga. And in that studio where I practiced hatha yoga in Winterthur, there was also a mantra singing every month. And that's where I consciously started to listen to mantras. I joined one time and I was really blown away. And then I started to listen to mantras, and then I started to think, because I'm a singer myself, so I've been singing for, I don't know, since I'm 15. I went to singing lessons and sang in many different bands. So I was really drawn to this mantra thing, and yeah, that's how I started singing for myself mantras for some years, until at some point I thought, okay, maybe it would be nice to give what I experienced to others, because it helped me a lot in many ways to sing mantras. So I started to offer some little circles where you also joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the short version of my
Yeah.
mantra journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know from firsthand that you're doing a super, super awesome job. And that's also partly the reason why I invited you here. So let's talk about mantras. What is even a mantra?
It depends who defines it. So for me, it's kind of a prayer. You sing to something divine, whatever that might be for you. You can call it God, you can call it yourself, the universe. And for me, it's a tool to meditate also. And it can be singing like we did before, or I did before, or it can be spoken, or just mentally. And it can be, for me, it can be in any language. But if you ask Indian people, which is where mantra and also the word mantra originates from, the very traditional ones, they will tell you mantra is only what is in Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is the very old language from the Vedic scriptures, which is like our Latin, but even older than Latin. And yeah, that language has a very special power to it, because it's so old, because it's been sang so many times with the same intention. It has an energy in it. And also it's said that this language was channeled from some people that had a direct connection to God. So that makes it even more powerful to sing these mantras. So maybe I personally agree, when I sing a mantra in Sanskrit, I feel much more energy and power if when I sing something in English that I compose or that someone else composes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go let's go a step back towards the mantra that you just sung. So the Om. What does Om mean?
They say it's the first. It's a sound how the universe was created. So we have material stuff, but everything has a sound. Everything has a frequency that sounds, and the frequency of the creation of the world is Om. So when you sing Om, maybe if you, I don't know if some people sang along now, if you felt that it was just centering, like it relaxes you, and you kind of fall into this frequency where everything is okay.
Yeah.
And that was like when the world was created, everything was okay. Now we messed up a lot of things, but in that frequency it was okay.
That's funny. Okay. Good.
And I can go a little bit into detail if you want. I don't know how much you want to know.
Sure, if you like to. Sure, please.
So the word Om is also said Aum. So actually the O is composed by Au. Some people sing it really Aum, and some sing it just Om. Yeah. And Aum is also symbolizing the Trinity, which we find in many religions. Also in Christianity we find, I don't know how it's called, this one. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I think. And in Hinduism, we find Aum representing the Trinity of three gods. So Hinduists have a lot of gods. And the first, the A, stands for Brahma, which is the god of creation. And the U stands for Vishnu, which is the god of preservation. And the M stands for Shiva, which is the god of destruction, which he destroys. And these are three qualities that we all need in our life. So something is created, then it's nice to maintain it, but sometimes, so preserver, but sometimes something new wants to come. So it's needed that the old is destructed. So destruction is not always negative. Sometimes it's good to transfer something so that something new can be created, and then it begins from the A.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for explaining. Yeah, that's a wonderful insight there. Yeah, let's go a little bit further right now. What is the difference between singing and chanting? So we're going just back to the questions right now at the moment.
I don't know exactly the definition of chanting, actually. What does it exactly mean? But you mean singing normal songs to mantras, or?
Yeah, just normal songs at the moment. So I just looked it up before if the question makes any sense, to make sure that this question makes sense. So chanting means more towards no instruments and more like just with your voice, but it's kind of like blurry. I didn't quite understand it, and I hoped like you can explain, but of course.
Yeah,
but
I think there's really very many definitions, and
yeah,
especially the definitions that come in English, so like chanting,
yeah,
they're coined from Europeans or Americans, and so it's hard to explain exactly what it is. So
yeah.
I like the Sanskrit words. With them, you just know, okay, it's this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe, yeah.
But we can go a little bit into that, into like the Sanskrit words right now, maybe. So what different forms of singing or repeating mantras are there?
So one is the singing, which is also called kirtan.
Yeah.
So usually in kirtan, there is one band or one singer with instruments and everything, and he sings the mantra traditionally, and it's call and response like in gospel. So the singer sings one line, and then the audience sings the same line afterwards, and it goes like this back and forth.
Okay, I see. Cool.
And then there is just singing the mantras, like we do it in the circles. And then there is japa. I don't know if any of you know this thing. It's a mala, and it's like a rosary for Christians, with beads, and then you can go, either you say it out loud, like om, om, and you go with the fingers, you go around the mala, or you say it in your head. And in the tradition of mantras, they say that mantras, you first start saying them out loud, really speaking them, and then you start, when this really sits, like after years and practice, you start saying them very, like really whispering, almost only moving your lips, almost no sound, and that you practice for years and years and years. And then at one point, automatically, you will continue, you will be the mantra. So it will be in your head, it will be in your body, you will vibrate in that mantra. And it's not like, okay, I have this song in my head, but it's really something that it's almost unconscious, that it's just so integrated in your being. These are like 3 stages.
Okay. Good. So which chakras does the mantra speak with first? So as you're saying, like, oh yeah, it connects to your whole body and you become the mantra, but maybe we start with a certain chakra. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a good question, and also very broad.
Yeah.
So there is specific mantras for the chakras.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know them by heart, but it's Lam for the root chakra, Vam for the sacral
Yeah.
chakra, Ram for the belly chakra, solar plexus, Yam for the heart, Ham for the throat chakra, Om for the third eye, and nothing, like silence for the crown chakra. So if you chant them, you can choose, if you feel your chakras and you know, okay, this chakra really needs some help right now, you can just chant for one chakra. And
Uh-huh.
you go like, I don't know if it's the root chakra, you go like lam, 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 lam.
Uh-huh.
And or if you want, you can go through all the chakras. So you go lam, vam, ram, yam, ham. And you can also chant them long, so lam,
Yeah.
bam, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's for specifically for the chakras. And for me personally, when I sing mantras, it opens a lot my heart chakra.
Uh-huh. Good. Okay. So maybe we connect there with the path of yoga already. Like the yogic path is bhakti, right? Which is also like yeah, the way of like love and yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that? Does this resonate with you?
Bhakti yoga is the yoga of devotion,
Mm-hmm.
where you really train your love to yourself and to God and to the universe. Yeah. So it opens the heart. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for explaining like a little bit like your connection to the chakras and how they are kind of like, oh yeah, you can access them individually with like these mantras.
I can also
Yeah.
add something,
Yeah, sure.
maybe. I think sometimes it also depends on the mantra itself. Like some mantras are for some Hindu gods, and also them are connected to some chakras somehow. Like Shiva, it's the god of consciousness, and consciousness resides in our third eye. So if you sing a lot for Shiva, it for sure goes also to your third eye, and if you it opens your third eye. And if you sing for any kind of divine mother, so it could be Durga, or it opens your heart because the divine mother resides in your heart.
Cool. Cool, cool. So what kind of benefits are there in mantra singing? As we're already like discussing, like, oh yeah, it's opening, but what kind of like benefits are there? If some man comes in there and says, "Oh, I want these benefits." What do you what can you expect? Maybe.
It's better not to expect anything
Good.
because the more open you go into something, the more you can receive, and it's not up to you to control it.
Okay.
But if I have to define something, if I have to define something, then it would be probably relaxing,
Yeah.
calming down, feeling yourself more, maybe also opening up yourself. Sometimes I feel that's not only specifically for mantras, it's for singing anyway.
Yeah.
It makes you more confident with time. Many people say, I cannot sing, I don't I'm off tone and stuff like that. And with mantra singing really doesn't matter, or at least how I and many Western people teach it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It just matters that you let go of all of your imagination, like all your yeah, and just try to let come out what it's inside.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, are there any dangers towards mantras?
You could fall in love with it. um,
Could you fall too much in love with
Dangers.
it?
No, I have never experienced any dangers, and I'm not aware of any danger.
Okay, good. So, where can one start when one wants to start to practice mantra singing or using mantras?
Hmm. go to a mantra circle in a yoga studio nearby. I think that's the best way to experience this, because you're also with other people, and singing with other people is definitely stronger than singing alone. And you also don't hear your voice maybe so much as you hear it when you're alone. So you can just kind of go with the flow of the other people. Yeah, I think that's the best way. And you also, if you have questions, or you can also ask.
What do you think about books? Do you have any specific book you could recommend? Maybe. No.
There are very few books, and I haven't found a good one yet. And that's that also has the explanation that in India, all this wisdom is given from person to person by speaking, and it's a really old tradition. And it's so much information, you can never put it in a book. It's impossible. It's such a huge topic, and with so many layers. And I kind of like this thing that it's just given from person to person.
Cool. How important is the meaning of a mantra? What do you think about that?
It depends which. It's important because you sing for something, but I think it's not important to know it with your head, because we Westerners, we always want to comprehend everything with our intellectual mind, and I think that's not really important. You can if you want, but I think it's more important to feel, okay, is this mantra helping me right now? Do I feel like singing it? Or I don't resonate right now, and better another one. For that, I think the meaning is important, but I think the meaning you feel in your heart is important.
Yeah. So I call this kind of like at least the vibrational, I call it vibrational quality, like kind of like what you're sending throughout your body. And what do you think about that? Do you kind of like agree to vibrational quality, to the term vibrational quality, or would you define that other way? Or yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's every word has a vibration, and especially these Sanskrit words have a very special vibration. And yeah, I agree with the term.
What is more important? Is the meaning of the mantra more important, or is like the vibrational quality of a mantra more important, or are they kind of like equal?
Yeah, it's, for me, I think if you put it this way, the vibration is the meaning, or the meaning is the vibration.
Ah.
Because the meaning is enthalten. It's
Inside of the it's
contained in the
contained,
vibration.
exactly.
For me personally.
Yeah. Okay. The meaning is contained in the vibrational quality. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. So, would you teach somebody like a mantra without telling one the meaning of the mantra? So only teaching kind of like the vibrational quality of a mantra to somebody without teaching the actual meaning of a mantra to somebody, or wouldn't you do that? And don't worry, I'm not judging you. It's just like your view right now.
I think it depends on the person and how important it's for this person to know the meaning intellectually or not.
Yeah.
I think it's not I cannot say generally. And also during the circles, for example, I try to make a mix in between telling them what we're going to sing, or telling afterwards, or just not telling. And if there are questions, of course I tell. So if somebody asks me, okay, what's the meaning of this mantra? Of course I will tell. I would not say, okay, just feel. But I really always encourage to also just feel without going to think too much.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a mix. Yeah.
So that's very interesting. I just want to kind of like show you my view on the whole thing, and I kind of like think or see a little bit. I'm not sure if that's correct, by the way, that like the Buddhism area are leaning more towards, oh yeah, the meaning of the mantra is like central. You need to know the meaning of the mantra, otherwise it doesn't make any sense of repeating the mantra whatsoever. And like in the Hinduism, it's like the opposite. Like, oh yeah, there's like vibrational quality to a mantra, and yeah, you can repeat that without knowing the meaning of the mantra. At least from my perspective, that's kind of like the case. But I'm not completely sure if that's true. What do you think about that?
Maybe it depends also on your intention. Why do you sing a mantra? It could be different intentions. So maybe if you want to just relax and let it flow, you don't need to really need to know the meaning. But if you want to really maybe cultivate a quality in you, then it's good if you don't feel it yourself already intuitively what mantra helps me right now, then maybe it's nice to know, okay, this mantra is for opening my heart, and then it's important, of course, to know the meaning.
Okay, good. Thank you for that answer. So let's go a little bit further. So of course, if anybody in the chat has a question, feel free to ask wonderful Glenda, and most definitely she will respond with a great answer. Let's go into that question. What kind of instruments are used traditionally in mantra singing?
So for the melody, often it's used sitar, which is, I don't know how to explain. It's a big instrument with chords. Chords, you say chords?
Yeah, chords.
Yeah. And you play only the first 4, I think, of them. And it's like this, now. It sounds a little bit like this. And then there is a harmonium, which I have here. I'll show this one. This is just actually it's not traditional Indian. It comes from Europe, because we have pianos, and we had also this harmonica, I think it's called. And then some person brought it to India, and then Indians are always sitting on the ground, so they needed something to put on the ground and not piano where you sit on a chair or something. So that's how the harmonium, Indian harmonium, was born. And now it's like a traditional Indian music instrument, but it's actually brought from Europe.
Okay. I think I heard about this, but I forgot it.
Yeah. And it's played with like a piano, but with air pumping.
Yep.
And then there is, for percussion, there is tabla, which are 2 drums, a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller one. And they're said to be the most difficult percussion instruments in the world. And they have also very specific rhythms that we don't know in the West.
Yeah.
And in the south of India, tabla comes mostly from north of India. In the south of India, they have mridanga, which is also a similar sound, but it's 1 drum, and it's like a oval drum. And on one side, you have a little bit smaller part to drum on, and on the other side, a little bit bigger part.
Yeah.
And then you keep it on your left hand drum.
Cool.
And then there is a tampura, and tampura gives the main. It's just one accord. Or how do you say that in?
One sound, one accord. Yeah. Maybe.
Which gives like the bass. If you play a song in C or if you play a song in D, you use different tempuras.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And the flute is also very, very used. But then more for mantras that are not sang sometimes. It depends. There's also a mix.
I see. Interesting. Cool.
Bansuri is called the flute.
what are kind of like different melodies like towards mantra singing? So you have like one specific mantra, and then there are different melodies to that. Does that exist? Is this like everywhere over the place, or yeah?
That depends from west to India. So Western mantra singers, they just make up their own melodies, and doesn't matter just what comes out. So it could be anything. There's no particular rule. And in the Indian way of singing mantras, there is lots of rules. And it's not just rules, it's also something that was channeled. So in India, they have different scales, like we do, but different. Same, but different. And these scales were channeled through some people, and every scale has a purpose, a meaning. So there is some scales are to sing in the morning, some scales are effective at lunch, some at dinner, like in the evening. And also different scales have different healing properties. So there is a scale for healing asthma, there is a scale for relaxing, I don't know, there is many different scales. And you can sing all the mantras in all the scales. So what's important is to choose the right time and the right time mostly for the mantra. So you can compose in the same mantra in a scale for the morning and in a scale for the evening, but then you should sing it in the right time.
Cool.
And in those scales, you need to follow a specific rule that when you compose the mantra, it fits in that scale. It's very complicated, and I'm still at the very beginning of it. I learned just for 3 months in India, and people learn it for 30 years until they know something.
How was it like to be 3 months in India and experience this deep mantra learning? Like you went like on an intensive course, right?
I was going to a teacher every day, having private lessons. Really, very fortunate. He had a little ashram over his house, and I don't think every mantra teacher teaches it like this in India, but I had a very special training and connection. And so for me, the first 3 weeks with him, I sang every day the same mantra. And for me, that was one of the most healing experiences I've ever had. So we used to sing this mantra, looking each other in the eye, and he has a very strong connection to the Divine Mother. So for me, it was really, when he sang, he was not himself. It was not the ego anymore, not the body. It was just divine energy flowing through his eyes into mine. And for 3 weeks in a row, I sang that mantra, and I cried every day by singing that mantra. And it opened up really something in my heart. It just went, whew.
Wonderful.
It was really healing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
More than any other mantra in the Western. Like since then, I really feel the difference between the Western melodies and the Indian melodies. They go much deeper for me. But it was also for my Western mind challenging. Because whenever I had questions, why is this so, and can you tell me some theory? And Indian style of teaching is very different. So sometimes it's like this, and you can do it like this and like this and like this, and all is correct. In the West, we want to know, like, what is the right way? And then we need to know why.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Like just for how long did you sing that one mantra for 3 weeks? Do you know how approximately how long it was?
I think minimum 1 hour per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 7 days a week almost, or 6 days maybe. Yeah.
Were you completely alone, or were there also other students
Mm.
with you, kind of like learning together with you?
At that time, no, I had the privilege to be alone. He didn't have any other students. Yeah. For one short period of time, that we were two of us, but we never practiced. Like we had always single lessons, so we knew each other, but we never practiced together.
Cool. Cool.
Mm.
So yeah. Now the thing is, what else would you like to tell us? What is like really in your heart? Oh, I love that mantra, or like what is your favorite mantra? Do you have such a thing as your favorite mantra, or doesn't that exist?
Mm. I think it goes in phases.
I'm sorry.
I think it goes in phases. It
Ah.
depends which phase I'm in, and but one mantra I feel very connected. It's the Gayatri mantra, which is one of the oldest mantras.
Mm-hmm.
That it's also hard to explain what it means because it's so complex
Oh.
to
Oh,
tell
please.
it in words.
Can we explain that or not?
um,
I'm sorry.
um, so it invites you to meditate upon our existence. And then, of course, the mantra I sang for 3 weeks with my mantra teacher, it's one of my favorites
Yeah.
because it's just so much healing happened with it.
Okay.
But what I could tell more about mantras is I really like Kundalini mantras from Kundalini Yoga.
Yeah.
And those are not in Sanskrit, but they are in Gurmukhi, which is the language of Sikh, not Sikh like, but Sikh with KH people,
Uh-huh.
the ones with the white turban.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, I don't know much about Kundalini Yoga as the yoga path, but I like to use both mantras, the Sanskrit mantras from Vedic tradition and the Kundalini, because for me, the Vedic mantras, they have a very grounding and earthing energy. So it really brings me back to my feet and calls me. And the Kundalini mantras for me are very light and airy. So I like to combine both. So if I need some centering and coming back from a stressful day, then first I sing a Vedic mantra. And if I need some more lightness and playfulness, then I like to sing Kundalini mantras.
Before we closing, where can people find you online?
On my website, glendalaila.ch. There's also right now I live in the mountains in the Bernese canton, and I don't offer as much as before because I'm very off the world.
Yeah.
But there on my website are all the events taking place in the area of Zurich, and also here there will be a retreat. And on Facebook and on Instagram.
Great. And definitely also check her out on Instagram at Glenda Laila Music. Is her channel called? And tune in live at www.moment.yoga/live, available on all podcast platforms. Glenda, thank you again for being here. It was amazing and teaching us more about mantras. Unfortunately, my level of knowledge wasn't quite too deep, so I couldn't go deeper into questions right now and dig deeper. But I think there were quite some holes filled, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me here, and I'm sorry for the internet connection because I live on the mountains. I cannot do anything about it. It's just what it is.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's very, very good.
Yeah, thank you for this challenge, because for me it's always a challenge to talk about mantras. I rather feel it and just sing with people, and then people understand what it's what I mean. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And
you're very welcome. It's the pleasure is on my side. So this was Health Skill Podcast, and we are leveling up your health skill.